everybody, this is Matthew with Indian Country Farms, back again to share just a little bit with you, a little bit more about canning bacon. Now remember, this all kind of crosses over with other meats. If you can can bacon, you can can pork. If you can can pork, you can can beef. It just rolls. Like I always say, check the book. You should have a good book. I think, who is that? At the USDA or FDA or USDA, I think it is. They got on their website a lot of information too. You can always check with your local county agent. I hear that some don't have anything to do with canning anymore, but ours does. What we're doing here is just a little amendum. We're getting the bacon packed in to the jars. Yeah, bacon or meats in general do not necessarily pack up real good. Like I always say, you put jelly or jam or some kind of fruit preserves in a jar, and you can get rid of every bubble just about in that jar. You can't necessarily do that with meat. Do the best you can, and then don't worry about it. You've done the best you can. So get her packed in real good. Now notice I probably got a little bit more than an inch on those. I think that curve right there just below this here little doobobber is considered an inch. I stopped just a little short because sometimes you got to balance things out. If I needed just a little bit, I could get some of that fat I set aside earlier. Set it aside to be put into beans to finish filling up. You don't want too much head space. A little extra wouldn't hurt nothing, but you don't want too much. That can cause problems also. You certainly don't want any less, because you can have an explosion in your pressure cooker or your pressure canner. A jar blowing up, and you really don't want that. It probably wouldn't breach the pressure canner, but you don't want to open your canner and find a broke jar and a bunch of glass, and that would just not be very good. We're getting this all packed in pretty good though. I'm starting to wish that I would have picked up a loin roast or something while I'm in that canning mood, and I may do that later, just to have some more pork. Now that's pretty fatty. Don't worry about that fat. I want to mention another thing, especially with bacon. Don't worry too much about the fat, because you know they used to preserve meat, what they called potted meat. What we call potted meat is not potted meat, not by the old standard. The old standard, you would preserve the meat by cooking the grease down off of it and put it in a crock and then cover it with that grease. So that grease is a preservative. Who'd have figured? But then again, you know, you can have tubs of lard that just last and last and last. And I have been told that if it does go rancid, that you could what's that called? Re-render the lard, and that'll fix it. I don't know. I've never tried it. When lard goes rancid around here, it's soap making day. But we don't worry about it too awful much. That being said, don't go thinking that we're sitting around drinking cups of lard. We're not. I'm not afraid of animal fat. I am more afraid of vegetable oil than I am of animal fat. Especially since, you know, you got to figure that all that corn oil has got to be full of some of that genetically modified corn. And I have never seen a great deal of research long term on that. It seemed to me like they just kind of dumped it on the market. And now once your market's flooded, you say, oh, well, go back and do some long-term research. You can't. You just destroyed your control group. If everybody's been eating it, You have no control group. I worry about that stuff not to excess. That's not saying that I won't have French fries from that big restaurant there, or fast food place. You know, the one with the clown. Matter of fact, I had some of them fries last night, and you know, genetically modified or not, those fries are just larping good. And I eat them. I do. I'm ashamed. I shouldn't do that. I should know better. I'm a grown man. Yada yada yada. Give me some fries and shit. But anyway, so we're getting it packed in. We're not afraid of the fat. We don't bathe in fat. We do try to watch our diet. I eat more vegetables than I've ever in my entire life. But I remember when I was a boy, little old Indian people kept a little canister on top of on the shelf above the stove there, and they'd go and put bacon drippings in it, and quite often their bacon was actually what we would call salt pork. And they would take toast bread or biscuits and make hot biscuits, and they'd get in there with a knife, and they'd spread that stuff on their bread like we do butter. Well, you say, well, that's just terrible. That can't be healthy. Well, think of what butter is. Butter's fat. It's larping good. Why? Because it's fat. We love our fat. I think that's just a human condition. This is the second time we've done this. I think second. And
yeah,
we've used quarts both times. Next time I might use pints. Because part of the reason to do this is to be able to preserve it without refrigeration. Well, in all reality, we cannot eat a quart of bacon quick enough for it to not need refrigeration. Now, if the grid goes down around here, you know, all you hear on that internet all the time about people talking about, in a grid down situation, it's going to be this way and that way. Hey, don't tell me what it's going to be like. We do that several times a year around here. But grid goes down. It'll be down for a while, maybe hours, maybe days, generally not weeks, depending on exactly where you live. But the grid goes down, and you will have people show up, trust me. We've told lots of people, well, when the grid goes down and you didn't do anything, don't show up. Trust me, they show up. But we'll probably get that quart eaten up in plenty of time before spoilage becomes an issue. Now, I'll show you real quick. I opened one yesterday. Now, I was talking about grease. Now, that had a gel, like meats have, a gel, the bottom half, and then grease, the top half. Well, after I opened it, I set it in just a pan of warm water, not boiling, just warm. Let it kind of loosen up and then shook it. It won't shake now. The reason I did that is to get that grease mixed up in there, kind of help keep things preserved while it's in the refrigerator. So we're going to go on with that. I'm going to get that fat and top off that one jar, and we're going to be ready to rock and roll. We're going to be canning bacon. So thanks for checking back in. We're going to get back to you again as this progresses, and we'll keep you up to date on what's going on. Thank you for joining us. Have a good day. We'll see you later right here on Indian Country Farms. Bye.